I'll show you how to make really concealed hinges. And the reason I did concealed hinges is because the big stainless steel hinges that came on the boat originally, they get really hot, and I have a real knack to stand on them and to burn the hell out of my feet. So I went with concealed ones, and it's so simple to do and they look really clean. Alright, so I've just moved the camera and I'm going to show you the back deck I've done just lately. So here we go, the back deck. So there's the hinges, that's how they sit, just on the line of the hatch. This hatch I've made open up sideways, makes it easy to get into. If you have a look down here, there you can see the hinge and the nut in it, and the riv nut is, or sorry, the insert nut is inside that, of course. It's very strong, it's not going to go anywhere, and it sits nice and flush, and that's all the components you see for the hinge itself. Right, I'll just go through some of the stuff you need for this little project. And first one, where the whole center point of this process is these hinges. And I'll show you some, not all normal hinges. What they do is, I call them W hinges, I don't know what they're actually called. They're concealed door hinges. So a couple of things you'll need to mount these hinges is, there's plenty of overlap on the deck, so I can drill into the steel supports and put in rivets for one part of the hinges. And the hinge that goes into the deck, I'm actually using this. It's an insert, like a riv nut, but it's actually just for wood. It inserts into the deck, you screw it in, and it screws in because there's a hex head inside. And that screws in, goes in flush, the hinge goes on top, and then through that all goes your nut, and your nut actually screws into that little riv nut screw. I think it's got an insert nut, actually, what it's called. So that's what I've been using. Comes out perfectly. I've had no issues with it. I've tested it for a little while. I've actually only put one screw in each side of the hinge, and it seems to be totally solid. It didn't need two. So this is the hatch I'll be doing today. I've done the other side, it's all done. This is just to the live well. Now I'm going to open these this way to keep them out of the way. Then we still step through onto the main deck. So that's how they open up, like this. So here's some of the tools you'll need. Obviously, little riveting gun. I've got a black and a white marker. The white marker is for marking the carpet, so you can see it easily. The black marker is for marking the white steel. There's a little hobbyist carpet knife. There's a couple of different size drill bits. The big ones for the insert nut, the small ones for the rivets. A pencil just for marking, general marking away for bits and pieces like that. And of course your Allen keys, which you need to, when you put your insert nut in. Here's a little trick I learnt. I'm marking the outside holes of the hinges. When I move the rest of the deck, I can line the outside holes of the hinges and then mark the inside holes which are actually underneath the decking material there. As you can see here, I'm moving the deck just enough to get the inside holes marked so I can drill them, so I can put the rivets into the steel, which will basically exist underneath the deck. when it gets put back in its rightful position. Now the positioning of these hinges is pretty much critical for how the hatch will open and close. So to drill perfect holes, use a center punch like this, which will basically allow the drill bit to drill the perfect hole and won't walk all over the steel. Now you can drill the holes for the rivets that are going to hold the hinges. Here I actually realised I had to remove the entire deck just to get the head of the rivet gun in the right place. Now move the deck back into place, just over the hinges, and they sit so smoothly, hiding the rivets, and basically there's only half the hinges left to do. Here you can see I'm marking the outside of the hinges. This is so when I move the hinges in the right position, I can locate them so the hatch will be in the right place. Here I'm locating a spare hinge inside the marked lines on the hatch. I'm going to draw actually where the flap of the hinge is going to sit. That way I can, the one that's already in the deck, when I put that in place, I can put that just in the right position to mark the holes. Now I'm using the larger drill bit to make the holes in the hatch for the insert nuts. With these insert nuts you only need to drill the hole to 13mm and they're an M6. As you can see, the insert nuts just screw in place quite easily. They're very, very tight and they'll would never come out, but if you want to, you can put a bit of epoxy in there just to make sure that they'll never move. Now the bolts I use are the mushroom head stainless steel, of course, bolts. They're used because they give me better clearance from the steel that the hatch is attached to. They've got a very, very small head on them and they're just easy to insert. Here I put one of the screws in to secure the hatch, so that way I can guarantee that the second screw is going to be in the perfect position. As you can see, these hatches got a grey underside. What that is a little bit of aluminium that I've painted with a primer and a top coat, just so that, especially in the wet areas like live wells, there's going to be no water going through to the wood. And here's the finished result for the live well. Top hatches haven't been done, but they'll be done next. It's a very quick process. It takes only about 10 minutes when you get onto it. And again, as I said, all the hinges are hidden.